Have you ever had a guy waste excessive amounts of your time and energy? Well, what if I told you you can avoid wasting all that time if you just knew exactly what you should be looking for in men? If you want to learn what it is you should be looking for, then join me on today's show where we'll be discussing 5 signs he's going to waste your time. That way you don't spend years of your life invested into a guy who's only going to disappoint you. You need to understand, is he in a place where he feels comfortable where he's at and in where he's going? Now, I'm going to say a couple of different points. They're slightly unrelated, but I want to be very specific on how they're different. When I'm talking about being unsettled, so this is some of the things that you'll hear guys say when they're unsettled. I'm in a place in my life, I want to travel. I want to explore. I want to see what life has to offer me. Now, this is a great, valuable sign to you to let you know that this guy is about to waste your time. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to explore and see all of what life has to offer. But what that should tell you indirectly, this is why it's great to ask men about themselves and what they want for their own life. Because indirectly, what he's telling you is, I am unsettled, okay, in my life. I still have lots of exploring I want to do. I still have lots of experiences I want to gain. In reality, when he is in that mindset, he has no intention of settling down with one person, right? Coloring and painting with you on a Saturday night and just having quiet, easy fun with you. That is not going to be stimulating enough for him if he is in that unsettled, restless place in his life, right? So we have this train that's supposed to be moving towards the best version of himself. But at this point in time, this guy is basically telling you, I don't even know what the best version of me is. And I don't even have this train moving in any positive direction. One day this train's moving forwards, another day this train's moving backwards, another day this train's moving right, and another day this train's moving left. I have to even figure out what if I even have a train. I have to even figure out what my train even looks like. Okay, so it's kind of a little bit related to direction, but I mean it in the sense of how settled do you feel in your life? Sometimes you might meet a guy, and in the process of you meeting him, and you ask him, this is one of the great questions you can ask a guy if you want to figure out how settled he is in his life. If you ask him something like, where do you want to live in the future? And he's telling you something like, I don't know, I gotta go and live in a couple of different places to first figure out what speaks to me. There's nothing wrong with that answer. But what I want you to understand is that's literally a sign to you that he's telling you, I haven't yet figured out where I want to be. And I'm still in the process of figuring that out. So I need the space and the freedom. We're going to talk about freedom in a little bit. I need the space and the freedom to figure out who I am and where I'm at in life in order to properly determine what I want my future to look like, what I want this best version of me to be. Okay? Now, I know even some nice guys, some friendly guys, and some non-evil or player guys might give you that answer. It still all means the same thing, which is that he's going to waste your time. Because when he's unsettled like this in his life, he wants to do moving around. He still wants to do some figuring things out. He still wants to live a certain type of lifestyle, which we're going to talk about lifestyle in a little bit, right? All of these things means, right, he cannot commit himself to you and a relationship with you. Are you following me so far? Because if he could, if he was in that mind frame, if he was in a place where he felt settled, and he felt like he knew where he wanted to go and he had direction, he would then say, okay, I'm prepared to do everything necessary to be in a relationship because that is the step and the place that I am at in my life. Point number 2, lifestyle. We'll have a banker here and we'll have a club promoter over here. Now, what are some of the things or the tasks that each of these different occupations would have to do? So, as a club promoter, you're always inviting girls, or we're also going to say out until 4 a.m. As a banker, what are you doing? 9 to 5. No need to flirt. So obviously there's way more to the job than just that, but you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. The reason that I kind of want to point this out to you is because lifestyle is a big part of understanding if a guy's going to waste your time. See, when you meet a guy, and you start getting to know him and understand what he does for a living and understand where he's at with his life. It's not just, okay, where does he want to be in 10 years and 5 years? All that's great. But you also want to understand, all right, based on like logistics, like what type of jobs are you actually working right now? Because that's also going to tell you whether or not he's going to waste your time, even if he doesn't realize it. So for example, in our example here, the club promoter who's going to be out till 4 a.m., constantly inviting and messaging and calling girls to have them come to the club because that's how a club promoter gets paid. I'm telling you that because I used to be a club promoter, so I know, right? He's always going to be dealing with alcohol and bottles and booze and bottle girls. And maybe if he works at a strip club, he might be promoting for a strip club. He might be talking and knowing the strippers and stuff like that. He's got to add them on Instagram because he's got to know everyone and he's got to talk to everyone. He knows the DJs. He's going around town. He's getting drunk himself. All of that stuff is part of his lifestyle. So when you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm going to try and build a relationship out of this guy, and with this guy, he wants to take me out, he wants to get to know me, and you learn that he's a club promoter, rather than you saying, okay, I want to figure out how I'm going to make this work with you because you seem like a nice guy and you seem very intentional, I want you to be saying in your mind, oh no, this is a lifestyle that is not conducive to being in a healthy relationship. If you had a different lifestyle, maybe I would consider you, but it's pointless for me to consider you as a serious partner knowing that your lifestyle is literally contradictory to having healthy relationships. Being out till 4 a.m. and popping bottles and booze with random girls that you just met that night, and constantly messaging girls and being drunk around them and hanging out at late nights when I'm not around is not conducive to us having a healthy relationship. So rather than me trying to fight against that or have some la la land delusional belief that somehow we're going to make this work, I'll come to my senses and realize that it's better for me to not even waste my own time trying to make something work with you when I know it's not going to work, because your lifestyle is in a place where that's just not going to work. Whereas if you were dating a banker or you found a guy who was a banker, now all of a sudden you might say to yourself, okay, you have a structured schedule. You're working during the day, not at late hours. Your work doesn't require you to flirt with girls. It doesn't require you to be around women, except the women that you work with, of course. And it allows me to be able to set boundaries for you and in our relationship. That's one of the biggest things here, because time wasters, one of the good things that they can use their lifestyle for as an excuse is that if their lifestyle is contradictory to a healthy relationship or to boundaries, it's very easy for them to use the excuse that I'm not being toxic because I'm a toxic person. I'm toxic because everyone else around me is toxic and the lifestyle I'm living is forcing me to be toxic. So for example, when you start dating the promoter, thinking that he's not going to waste your time, what's going to happen down the line when you start noticing that he's commenting or liking girls' pictures, or that you see his phone and he's messaging a whole bunch of girls, and you address him and say, why are you messaging girls and flirting with them? You want to know what the promoter's answer is going to be? Oh, babe, I have to flirt with these girls because I need them to come to the club. That's how I get paid. And then he's going to turn it around on you. He's going to say, you like your Chanel bag, don't you? You like that shirt I got you, don't you? You like that dress I got you, don't you? Well, I need to flirt with these girls for work. Kayla just said it, right? It's for work. I don't actually like them. That girl with the huge booty that she can barely get her jeans over her butt, I don't even realize that her bum is that big. I didn't even see it. I just message her because I need her to come out to the club because that's how I get paid. Now you're in a vicious cycle of feeling like you can't address things, wondering how you're actually going to make a relationship work because you're always frustrated. But instead of him taking accountability for it, he's blaming his lifestyle on it. Point number 3. At the beginning, when you first start as a single person, as a single man, you only have to think about a certain amount of things, right? You think about, what do I want? What do I need? Now, here's the thing. Some men that you meet, right? They'll be in a state where they're so obsessed with themselves and what they need and what they want. When they start building a relationship, they'll realize that being in a relationship is not just about what he wants at all times. That being in a real relationship is about understanding also what your partner wants and your partner needs. And so there is a required sacrifice there because you're sacrificing some of that freedom to only think about what do I need at this point in time. Because what are some of the things that you can do when you're only thinking about yourself? You can come home whenever, you can say anything, and these are just some of the things, and you can do anything, and you don't have to be accountable to anyone, right? And I can't even fit all the other stuff in there, but it's very me-centric, right? Very focused on me and my own freedom to do what I want to do. But when you get into a relationship, you have to sacrifice some of this freedom because out goes some of that freedom, right? Some of that freedom gets escaped out, right? Gets out of this circle here. And your thoughts don't just become about me and what I want. Your thoughts in here, somewhere in here, have to be also about you, right? You meaning you, his woman, okay? And at some point is like a real small little circle here. But at some point, you have to be like the thing that penetrates his thoughts that he's also thinking about. And there needs to be room made for that. And he has to sacrifice some of these things that are important to him, some of the things that he wants to do, some of his ability to come home whenever, say anything he wants, do whatever he wants, only think about whatever he needs. Sometimes I always miss the letter because I'm so excited to do the next thing. Always thinking about what he needs at that very moment, that he doesn't realize that in order to be in a real healthy relationship, he's actually going to have to sacrifice that. And sacrifice some of that freedom in order to be with you. But here's the problem, and this is what I want you to notice as it relates to knowing if a guy's gonna waste your time. Whenever you start having discussions with him about things that you need or things that are important to you, you're gonna start noticing that these men respond to you in a way where they're very agitated or aggravated at the thought or the idea of having to do things for you or sacrifice some of their own freedom for you. So for example, let's just say you're dating a guy and you ask him, hey, last night you didn't message me back while you were out. What time did you get back? And he says, oh, are you always on my back? Always asking me where I'm at or what I'm doing, bro. I'll go out whenever I want. You're not gonna control me. I don't feel like telling you everywhere I go and everything that I do and everyone that I hang out with. And you're thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. You don't just get to do whatever you want to do whenever. You're not gonna say that, but you should be thinking to yourself, a real relationship is not just doing whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, however you want to do it. So if your mindset is that you don't want to sacrifice any of that freedom because you don't want to think about me or consider what I need or I want in this relationship, then your alarm bell should be going off. Oh, I see what's going on here. You're only here to waste my time. You're only here to extract from me and not actually invest in me or this relationship for real and actually build here with me because your focus is on getting what you need, but not on actually doing the things necessary and giving the sacrifices necessary to build a real relationship with someone. Because when you're building a real relationship with someone, there's an understanding that I'm going to have to sacrifice some of my freedom for this relationship and to get this person into my life. So men who are mature and are ready to be in that state, right? This is why I say it's a very particular mind frame that men are in when they're ready to build a relationship, because they're ready for that sacrifice. They're ready for that point in their life. They're ready for the challenges that are supposed to come with being with another person and factoring them into your decision making. But men who are trying to waste your time will obviously not at all be ready for that stage in their life. So they're always going to be pushing back against ever having to sacrifice anything for you. Anytime you're hearing the word ROI, think of return on investment. Now, what does return on investment really mean? I know some of you aren't into accounting or money. All right. So return on investment just means if I have money here, I have an account here with 10,000. I have an account here with 50,000. Let's just say 100,000. And I have an investment on this side. Now, in this investment, let's just say for the sake of argument, I want this investment to 2x my money. Stay with me here. We're not going to go too deep into accounting or math. Trust me, we're going somewhere and I want you to see this. let's say this investment, I want to 2x the money, okay, that I invest into it. So let's say I invest my $10,000. I want my $10,000 to turn into a smooth 20,000, okay? I want my $50,000 to turn into a smooth 100,000. And I want my $100,000 to turn into a smooth 200K, okay? So the reason I say this is because this is also happening in your relationships, any relationship that you have actually. So instead of money, meaning actual monetary money, I want you to think in this scenario of money as energy, okay? And I want you to think of the investment as you, okay? Stay with me, don't worry, we're going somewhere. Now, the reason I want you to think of it like this is because when guys are building with you and building a relationship with you, they're investing time and energy into you. And because they're investing time and energy into you, just like a regular monetary investment, which you would expect some return on that investment, they're also expecting a return on that investment. And so what will happen whenever you're dating a guy or seeing a guy who's going to waste your time, you're going to notice that anytime he invests energy into you, the investment he expects, the return, I should say, he expects out of that investment, right, which is you, he expects, instead of money here, he expects. And in every scenario, whenever he does something for you, whether small or big, his immediate mind and his brain goes to, I expect you to reward me by throwing that dump truck back on me, or you showing me what that mouth do, or for some men showing me what those feet do. I don't know what he's into, depending on what he's into. And so you're going to start noticing that this becomes his way of saying, oh, you owe me something. I did something for you. And my expectation is that you allow me to jackrabbit myself inside of you. Okay, so I'll give you an example of what this looks like. A guy who takes you out on a nice dinner, and after he takes you out on this nice dinner, immediately after he pays that bill of $200, he taps his card. He says, perfect, just finished paying the bill, like all of you women who don't want 50-50 like, right? Yeah, so I finished paying the $200 bill. You're going to come back to my house, right, and drink some wine with me. And you say, no, I never said that. Our date was supposed to last 2 hours because I watched Tomisin's show and I know it's not going to last more than 2 hours. And yeah, I got to go home and do a whole bunch of stuff tomorrow. I'm not coming over. Oh, wait a second. Let me say this again. I just paid $200 for our date. I didn't make you pay at all. And you came here, you ate food, your belly's full. I made you laugh. I was interesting. And your answer is, yeah, you were interesting. It was a great date. We'll have more dates later on. No. I know we'll have more dates some other time, but you're supposed to come over to my place now and drink some wine with me. Aren't you going to drink some wine with me? I've got a great bottle of Pinot Grigio waiting for you. Drink some wine with me. Because now that he's given you something, done something that he thinks you like or want, his immediate expectation is give me something that I want, okay? Someone said no wine, did he? No Diddy wine, okay, right? So you see what I mean here, right? And you'll start to get that sense. Sometimes you might not realize it because you're not actually thinking about it like this. But you'll start to get that sense when you get better at being aware of what's actually happening. Because some guys will do something and they'll invest in you because they actually want to build with you. So when you tell them, hey, I'm not actually coming over to your house to drink wine with you, we can go on another date, they're like, oh, okay, no big deal. Because their plan is to, instead of their return on investment being sleeping with you and jackrabbing themselves inside of you, to them, a return on investment is just being with you. Because they want you the human, not want you the pocket. You know what I mean, okay? Right? They want to actually invest in you to make a wife out of you, to build with you and have a family with you. So in that process, he doesn't mind doing something for you, knowing that at least you guys are growing and progressing the relationship. But the men who are just looking to extract from you and who are eventually going to waste your time, because trust me, once they finish extracting, they'll go about their business. Those men will be very upset at any investment they put into you. And instead of them being able to sleep with you out of that investment, or a footy or a handy or a mouthy, whatever you want to do, he will then be frustrated if that's not what he receives from you. In number 5, we're going to kind of show a little bit of a loop. And what I mean by a little bit of a loop, we're going to kind of work together here to kind of understand what's happening and why this is happening. Let's just say, for example, you start talking to a guy, and let's say you and this guy live 2 hours away from each other. And he tells you, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, next couple of months, I'm gonna get an Airbnb. You're gonna come over to the Airbnb. I'm gonna stay 1 week. We're gonna drink some wine. We're gonna have so much fun. We're gonna listen to Daniel Caesar. I know Daniel Caesar's your favorite. We're gonna cuddle so much. I'm gonna stroke your hair. You're gonna stroke my. We're gonna have so much fun, and it's just gonna be so amazing, okay? And then when he says all of that, right, what does that do? It gives you a whole lot of hope, okay? And a whole lot of excitement. You're really hyped up about this. You're thinking, oh yeah, we're gonna listen to Daniel Caesar. It's gonna be so amazing. We're gonna drink my favorite bottle of wine. I'm gonna feel so loved and so cherished, right? After you have all of that excitement from the promise, time passes. And what I mean by time passes is, after a while, the excitement of him first saying it is like, oh, in the first few days, you're like, oh my God, I feel like it's happening tomorrow. We're gonna do this and it's gonna be so amazing. You're doing your happy dance. Then a week goes by and you're still excited because you're hoping that one day it's coming, because he didn't set a date on it. And then 2 weeks goes by and 3 weeks goes by, and he's still talking about this as if it's happening tomorrow. But you're starting to say to yourself, but it's been 3 weeks. And we haven't even set a date. And anytime I ask you about what time or day you're free or week you're free for this to actually happen, you never actually give me a straight answer. So as time passes, you're starting to realize this probably isn't happening. So then you get to a point here where we'll call this, right, the letdown. All of those promises you're making aren't really coming to fruition. Yeah, they get me excited, but I don't ever see the result of all of the excitement, all of the hope, okay, all of the promises. And so what ends up happening is, after you get let down just enough, he makes you a brand new promise. And now he says, yo, I think that I'm gonna have an extra bonus this month for my job. And in this extra bonus, I think I'm gonna be able to buy you a ticket to come stay with me for a week. And if you come stay with me for a week, then we'll have so much fun. Then we'll listen to Daniel Caesar. Then you can stroke my, and we'll drink so much wine, and everything will be so amazing. And that's the thing. It's a vicious cycle of this. It's a promise, then the hope of you getting excited for the promise, right? And then the time passes, and then the letdown, and then another new promise, okay? So it gets you hooked in this cycle here, okay? And this is a little bit like a version of future faking, except this can even happen with a guy that you're in a relationship with and a guy that you're talking to. And you start realizing that sometimes even whether the promise is large or whether the promise is small, it just always ends up going in this cycle right here where you eventually get let down. And so after a while, what I want you to realize is this pattern of behavior is not an accident. This is actually a very clear sign that you're gonna get your time wasted. Whether this happens in a very small way at the beginning or whether this happens in a very large way at the beginning, this is a clear sign, probably one of the clearest signs that your time gonna get wasted. Because when this starts off at the beginning, it doesn't seem like a very big deal because you're thinking in your mind, I just met this guy, let me give him a chance, let me give him an opportunity to prove himself. But the thing that you need to understand about men, one of the most important things for you to focus on with any guy that you're dating is how capable is he of sticking to his word. So when he tells you he's going to do something for you or for this relationship, does he actually follow through with doing that? Because if you can't take a guy at his word, what is he really worth to you? And I hate to make it seem like it's all about value and it's like a transaction, but that's the reality. If you can't rely on a guy to tell you he's going to do something for you or in this relationship with you, and for him to actually follow through on that, how are you even supposed to be in this relationship as a woman and allow that man to lead? Because when he's telling you, I'm going to lead by doing A, B, and C, and then he doesn't actually do A, B, and C, well, then what are you supposed to do with that man? He can't lead you. He can't do anything with you. And then your only option is to take control of the relationship yourself and progress the relationship yourself and lead the relationship yourself. And now you're the man.